Good morning, everyone. I am Stevie Lang, and I'd like to invite you to Unity Center of Des Moines on this gorgeous Sunday morning. And I say gorgeous because we need the moisture so the farmers can plant their seeds and the crops can grow. So we are grateful that we got some today. Is there anyone here joining us for the very first time? I wonder. Well, welcome. We are Randy. We are a diverse community that is just committed to a positive spiritual path. We welcome you just as you are, and we recognize each person is on their own unique spiritual journey. Usually there are welcome packets when you first come in, but I have been sick for a week. Yes, thank you for your prayers and Reiki and for medicines that help beat things that the body has trouble with. I am feeling better now, and I'm grateful for that, but I didn't get the welcome packet stuff printed. So there are some hug buttons though, and there is some mugs. You're free to take one of those if that calls to you. And you can learn more about our group and what's going on here, as well as the Unity organization that's based out of Kansas City. You can learn more about all of that through unitydesmoines.com. Let's begin with song. The lyrics are going to be up on the screen, and if you want to sing along, we'd love that.
Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Letting go to the mystery. Letting go to the mystery. Letting go to the mystery. I sing in love. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Let it go to the mystery. Let it go to the mystery. Let it go to the mystery. I sing in love. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Let it go to the mystery. Let it go to the mystery. Let it go to the mystery. I sing in love.
Yay! Can we have a round of applause for our music team? Susan Kellogg. All right, announcements. This is your last week to sign up to be a vendor for the Spirit Seekers Fair. So there are hard copies on that back table out there. Also in the newsletter, I have a link to fill out a digital application if that's easier than printing and writing it down. I also have an option that I can email you a Word document if that's better for you. So there are multiple options. If you are feeling called to show up, it doesn't matter if you've ever been a vendor before. We want to fill the entire building with good vibes and holistic healing. So whatever you have to offer, consider being a vendor. Other announcements is I will be reaching out to the volunteers that said they would help with the Spirit Seekers Fair this week to get it lined up for people to greet and help set up and tear down and all that. So we'll be reaching out. Watch for an email from me this coming week. Today, after the service, there are snacks in the community room, and then at 4:30 p.m., there is a cacao ceremony with our lovely Deb Jennings. And then at 6:30 p.m. is it the new moon? Full moon. New moon going meditation in the sanctuary. So you can do one or both of those events, and the details are in our newsletter or on Deb's Facebook page. Sunday, April 6th, there is a half-day retreat with Deb Jennings and Olive O'Connell. There's going to be great food, gentle movement, education on sound, chanting, and mantra practices, community and respite time. And if you register by today, April 1st, Tuesday, if you register by Tuesday, you will get an early bird discount. So you can still come if you don't register early, but that's really going to be a special event, and that's on a Sunday. So you can just fill your Sunday with all the good vibes. Yes, Sharon.
Are they doing it here?
Yes, they're doing it here. And I don't know what is going on with the camera, but it keeps going okay. There. Okay. Let's see. Our regular events are all on schedule. You can see everything that's going on in our calendar at UnityDesMoines.com. And also, if you weren't aware, we have a YouTube channel, Unity Center Des Moines, and we also have a Facebook page and an Instagram account, Unity Center Des Moines. So we're just getting out there in the social media land. Are there any other announcements that I either didn't know or have not mentioned? Okay. Well, let's do the statement of faith. It will be up on the screen. Let's read it all together. There is only one power active in my life and in the universe, the divine source of all life and love. Next, the unity affirmation. And as we say this together, if you could really allow yourself to feel the oneness that connects us all. Unity Center of Des Moines is a radiating center of the divine light, mighty to attract its good and to radiate good to others. And with this spirit of oneness, these are the people needing our prayers this week. I invite you to uncross your hands and your legs, really sink into your chair and feel the support of the earth and also the connection to the divine that is within you. And if you could surround these people with love and light, Matt, Michael, Brittany, Jerry, Jessica, Alexander, Brittany, Eric, Deb, Justin, Jeannie, Carrie, Rob, Angie, Devin, Scott, Jess, Emma, Ashley, Maddie, Jody, Sarah and family, Holly, Jeanette Marie, Jess, Paul and Phyllis, Christina, Seal, and people with struggles we know nothing about. The daily word for today, Sunday, March 30th, is taken from Luke chapter 6, verse 37, which says, "Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven." Holding on to hurt caused by someone's words or actions is harmful to mental, physical, and emotional health. If I stew over these negative feelings, it's likely I will feel worse. It's when I am willing to let go of those troubling emotions that the healing begins. Forgiveness is healing. Realizing the slight may have been unintentional, or the one who hurt me may be unaware of my pain. I forgive you silently to myself. Oh, I feel compassion. I let go by repeating the words, I forgive you, silently to myself, which helps me speak these words aloud when I am able. We also had Doug's lesson last week of Ho'oponopono, where we can just have that practice. If I have caused intentional harm, I ask for forgiveness. Through divine love, I forgive and am forgiven. As I express this love, I mend feelings and open the way to peace and harmony. The affirmation that goes along with this, I'll say it once, and then if we can all say it together, is this. My soft heart expresses love as I forgive. My soft heart expresses love as I forget. All right, let's have another song. This one is How the Gospel is Love. And if we can all sing along. I'm not going to move the camera because I had issues. Yay! Thank you so much. Isn't that such a cute song? Oh, and perfect. Please welcome our speaker. She's back, Safiyah Grace. You can read about her in the newsletter. You can go to our website and read her bio and see her beautiful pictures with her homegrown flowers. She is going to speak to us about the legacy of love. Please give a round of applause to Safiyah.
It's great to be back here with everyone today. How's everybody doing?
Yay!
Yay!
Springtime!
Springtime! Yeah! Awesome. I'm so excited to be back here with everyone. It's been a while for me. I have been taking a break, sort of. I say I'm taking a break and I'm trying to slow down and I'm still doing like a million bajillion things. I don't know that it's possible for me to actually slow down as much as I want to, but I'm happy to be here with everybody. I have been going through a really deep inner transformation that has been so potent and so powerful. I think this might be the most nervous that I've ever been to come be up here and speaking in front of everyone today, just because I've been in such a deep portal of transformation and reformation within myself, and I'm excited to share with you. I am so always amazed by whoever's choosing like the music and the words that we're speaking, because they always seem to line up with what I want to talk about. I don't know, I have a feeling that Deb chose the song, The Gospel.
I chose them.
Yeah, I knew it. Because I really did want to come up here and talk about the gospel today. So I don't know how you do. I guess we were kind of talking about it. Yeah, we were talking about it at one of the Safiyah circles too a little bit. So that's been something that's been really, I've had so many questions about the gospel and Jesus and the Bible, and I want to share a little bit about my story of my spiritual journey, my awakening. I wasn't really raised in a religious context. My grandmother was and is very, very deeply, devoutly Christian. When I was born, she wasn't always, but she grew up in a very like fire and brimstone kind of environment as a child, and had a lot of hurt surrounding that. But by the time I came onto the scene, she was following Jesus. She was going to church. It was very important to her, and I would go and see her out in the country, 3 hours away from here, and we would go spend Sundays at church. And it was my favorite thing to do. It was just like the coolest thing. I was like, I can go to church with grandma, and she's gonna, take me out for eggs at Rosie's, cheesy eggs, and we're gonna go sing. And it's just like, it was the best experience that I had as a child. One of the best experiences I had as a child was going to church with my grandma out in the country and eating cheesy eggs. And when we would be singing in the church, I just remember being like overcome with just this amazing, beautiful energy that I just never experienced anywhere else. But there was always also this sort of tension that I felt because my parents were not religious. I guess at one point maybe they were, or there was some like kind of background with that for both of them on either side, but when they had me, they were not. They were young kids really in college, and they were busy, and they were, that wasn't something that they felt strongly to teach me about. And in some ways they felt strongly to kind of almost protect me from what they saw or experienced as some of the hurt that can come in some, religious circles sometimes that, is just really can come up in any culture, any context. There's hurt that comes up because we're human and we go through human experiences where we can hurt each other either intentionally or unintentionally. But it was very confusing for me. I remember growing up and feeling this kind of disconnect between like this amazing experience that I had with my grandma, and going and singing, and she was teaching me about Jesus and eating cheesy eggs with me, and how great it felt. And then like this kind of just like my parents are just like almost like there's nothing. It's just like it's very kind of there's atheistic. There's no spirit, there's nothing, it's just science and it's facts and it's logic and there's nothing bigger or greater. And it was just confusing for me and it was a lot to sort through. And sometimes it still feels like it's a lot to sort through. But at the same time, like as a child, I was also having these spiritual experiences that were far, far, far out of anything that anybody had ever explained to me. Later, as an adult, as I was learning about other religions around the world, I realized, I felt like that some of the experiences I had as a child could be considered a Kundalini awakening experience, and seeing people nodding, which is really cool to me because I've always wondered, I'm like, am I the only one that's like having this experience, or like, is this like something that lots of people are experiencing and we're not talking about? And we're finding each other now. That's so cool. Okay, so yeah, so I've had these experiences and just like trying to like comprehend that or understand that through any of the social constructs or like cultural constructs that were around me was just like there was no guidance whatsoever. And in other cultures there might have been. In other times there might have been like, oh, you're experiencing this. This is what this means. This is how you can work with this in a safe way. This is how you can build this relationship with, this higher energy and nurture it. But there wasn't that. And so it was really confusing. And I remember at some point, I was really a curious child and I was really open to like learning about all the different things that I could. and I was learning about, I think I saw something on, it was like a Scooby-Doo episode, and and there was witches, and they were like good witches, and they were like super cool, and I was like really excited about witches, and this absolutely freaked my grandmother out, like so much, scared her to death, and she sat me down. And bless her heart, I love my grandma so much. We have the best relationship, and we've like talked through so many things. But she sat me down and she showed me this Old Testament like part of the Bible that's like, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what are you talking about? I thought we were cool. Like, I thought we were friends, grandma. And it freaked me out, and it absolutely like turned me off from wanting to go to church with her and like learn more about this. And it did not explain to me like the message of the gospel. It did not explain to me the heart of God or Jesus at all. And so I went through years of my life just being like so confused and so disconnected and not understanding how to even put into words like what my internal experience was. And I'm like just doing that now. I'm like 34 years old, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna just like, we're gonna do all this inner child healing work, and we're gonna put it back together. And it's really intense. I gotta be honest with you guys, it's like really intense. But, and so as an adult, I have studied a lot of different things. I've studied, really interested in like Eastern healing traditions. I went to the East-West School of Integrative Healing Arts to get my massage therapy training, and so I studied Reiki there. I studied acupuncture, Chinese medicine, and was really, really fascinated by that. And I went on to study many different divine feminine lineages. And I think this is what my mother especially was like trying to protect me from some of the ways that Christianity, and I don't mean to be disparaging at all, but just how there's like such an emphasis on the masculine. That happened to myself. Hello. Everyone's like, what is that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my mother was like this really strong feminist woman, and I think she really wanted to protect me from, some of the, I don't know what I would call it, just the cultural kind of stuff that comes through. I don't think it's really biblical, but I think it's like a cultural thing where it's just like men are closer to God than women, and men have more power, and it's just become a cultural thing. I don't think, like, I have been trying to really honestly, like, understand the Bible, and, like, that's not there. And as I, like, actually go with those questions and, like, are looking for answers, and, like, it's healing my heart so much to realize that's not actually what the Bible is talking about. It's not actually what Jesus is talking about. So anyway, I studied a lot of different divine feminine wisdom lineages. There's many Eastern traditions where there are these amazing divine feminine teachers. We have had some of that we've talked about here before, Green Tara, Kuan Yin, and their teachings are so powerful. And for a long time I felt really angry. I felt really, really, really angry at the ways that the divine feminine had been just kind of squashed down. Her story is not told, it's not lifted up. And I don't really feel that anger anymore. I've been healing that. I don't feel just this, I'm not driven by that anymore. Like maybe it's there, but it's not driving me. And I've been really healing my relationship with the divine masculine. And there has not been anyone better to do that with than Jesus. We've been having this just amazing experience with Jesus for a few years now that I'm just like, every single day, I'm just like in awe of how great and amazing he is. Like, it makes me want to cry. And so it's kind of a strange experience though, because I still feel very much like this feeling that I felt as a child of like, well, where do I fit in? Because I love Jesus, but I also love Kuan Yin. I also love Green Tara. I also love the Safiyah code that I teach about. And a lot of people, a lot of Christians might not like be like, you're a real Christian. If I would even bring up, Kuan Yin. So I've been just in this really deep, like, how do I reconcile that within myself? How do I reconcile that and to be able to talk about it? And it's been a journey, but I will say, I think there's some really good points, even though, sometimes Christians can be like, no, it's very kind of narrow. It's very like, this is the only way. But I think there's also some real truth that we miss out on if we're not open to asking questions and getting really curious and exploring, like, well, what does the Bible really say? What, is the real heart of this that we're trying to get to? I think that there's a lot that we can really miss out on if we're not willing to explore that. For me, one of the things that has been such a revelation for me is the gospel just repeating to me over and over again, like, I don't have to earn this love. I don't have to earn it. And there's I think any culture, any group can kind of get caught up in this trap of like, we're trying to earn, we're trying to strive to reach this next goal. And I think that can be true in any Christian church where we're trying to, get in and do this act of service and do that act of service, and that's going to prove how much we're really here, that we're really, we're really good people. And that can also be true in a lot of I don't like to use generalizations, but I think they can be helpful in some situations, but like what people might call like New Age or like alternative spirituality, there can be this sense of like, I always have to do the next thing. I always have to do the next training. I always have to do, this next initiation, and it's never enough. And that has been something for me as I've been getting to know Jesus better, of like, oh, it is enough. It's already enough. I can relax into the truth of love that's already available to me. I don't have to keep striving. I can go on these mystical journeys and, have these amazing breakthroughs, but you don't have to, because it's already done. And that's what I think is so beautiful about the Christian perspective, is like, it's already done. Everything that, every problem that we have is already solved. Like, it's already, if you take it up to God, if you take it up to Jesus, and that's what it's just been amazing for me, just to be like, oh, I don't have to stress about that. I don't have to worry about that. I can just give it to God. And that's what a lot of the different traditions that I have studied, the Safiyah code, that's one of the things that we say over and over again. We say, it is done, it is done, it is done. We're affirming like these amazing affirmations over ourselves, and we're saying, it is already done. We're sealing that in. And the Reiki that I studied, the Holy Fire Reiki, everything that I have studied ends up pushing me back towards a deeper relationship with Jesus, with Christ. Holy Fire Reiki is a very unique Reiki. So if you're not familiar with Reiki, Reiki originated in Japan. There's a lot of different lineages of it. There's this beautiful history there of these meditation practices that basically, allow you to ascend, allow you to literally ascend, but in the sense that you're giving up your physical form and ascending, and that's how Reiki that came here was born from a man who went off and did this meditation, had this huge breakthrough experience, but then decided to stay here and come teach that to other people, how to share that energy with other people. And then it's come to America, and it has evolved into many, many different branches and lineages of Reiki. And so there's Holy Fire Reiki, which is what I did my teacher training in. And it's so beautiful in that it says, if there is a place in you that there's like a religious hurt that makes you feel resistance to Jesus or Christ or any of those words, Holy Spirit, that's okay. You're not wrong for that, but it is an indication of something that needs to heal within you, because just because some church that you are a part of, some person hurt you, that's not from God. That's not what Jesus is here to share with you. And what Jesus is here to share with you is only good. It's really, really so good. And so that's just become so important to me, and I feel like I'm kind of standing in the middle of there's so much that we can learn from Kuan Yin. There's so much that we can learn from these divine feminine teachers. And I want the people that I know that are in those divine feminine circles to also know Jesus. And I also want the people that are really, really all in for Jesus to also know, we can learn about Kuan Yin, we can learn about Rinpoche and these other teachers and these other ways of connecting with God and the source. And so it's just a really interesting place to be, where I'm I just right in the middle here. I don't know how to communicate that all the time, but yeah, it's really become important to me. And there was been watching so much theological content, reading and researching a lot, and there was something I found really interesting that really succinctly explained what I've been really wanting to communicate. Because I think the last time I was talking here, I was talking about uniting all opposites. We have all these different ways that we kind of put ourselves into these categories or these labels, and it kind of separates us from one another. But at the heart of it, we're all from the same source. And so why are we doing that? Why are we conservative or liberal or Christian or not Christian, or all these different things, these different ways that we can separate ourselves from other human beings? Why are we not just, I'm a child of God, I'm a human, I'm worthy, and so are you. And it was really interesting. So there was this woman I was watching, and she was reviewing another person who was a pastor of some sort, and he was saying, conservative Christians focus on what you should not do. And liberal Christians, where'd we go? Okay. And liberal Christians focus on giving to other people, serving other people. And this woman that was speaking was okay, that there's some truth in that. However, it's missing the point of the gospel, which is, no, you don't have to earn, you don't have to earn God's love by doing so many things for other people or being a good enough, social activist. That's not how you earn God's love. It's already given to you. You can still do those things if you feel called to. That's great, but it's not how you earn love. And all of the things that we're not supposed to do are also, it's not bad advice. A lot of the time, there's some pretty good advice there, like don't do that. And so it can be both, but the gospel is teaching us that we don't have to earn love. We are saved by faith through grace. And that's so that no one can boast, right? That's so that no one can say I'm better than you because look at all the things that I'm doing. It's not true. And but when we do actually experience that revelation of God's love within our hearts, it calls us forward to follow through, to do those acts of service, to refrain from things that we know are harmful. And that's the message of the gospel. And so we're not here to judge or criticize other people if they're, not in that, but we're called to experience that transformation, that awakening within our own hearts, and then allow that to guide us forward. And so all of that ties in with the legacy of love. I'm just remembering that's the title of my speech. Now we're gonna tie that all together. Because the reason I wanted to call it the legacy of love is because I'm glad that I'm funny today. The reason I wanted to call it the legacy of love is because I want to talk about the gospel and about how Jesus left us this amazing legacy of love that is still, for all of the criticisms that we may have about, the Christians and how they're embodying that love, I don't think anybody can deny that it has left a very, very powerful imprint on our culture. And it's, there's churches everywhere. Everyone wants to talk about this. We want to understand it. And it's powerful, and we should. We should seek to understand it and ask questions and be curious. And that doesn't mean that other paths are wrong or that there's nothing that can be learned from other cultures or other paths. We don't have to shut that out and demonize everything that's not exactly from the Christian lineages or perspective, because there's a lot of commonality, there's a lot of parallels that we can draw and that we can learn from. So that's what I'm going to talk about, legacy of love and how that's, impacted me. I started having visions of Jesus when I was doing my Holy Fire Reiki training. And then really powerfully, I think it was like 2020, 2021, I started having these visions, and I was like, before that I was like, oh yeah, Jesus is cool, like he's alright, I don't have a problem with Jesus. And then I started having these visions, and I was like, oh wow, like there's something here that I need to know more about. And so that's what I've been doing, that's what I've been learning about. And I wanted to take a moment to meditate on this concept of the legacy of love and what that looks like for you, because we are also called and told that we will do even greater things. Yes. So those who follow Jesus, who believe in Jesus, will do greater things than he did. And so we are each called to leave a legacy of love behind us. And that can look different for every one of us. It might not be, it probably won't be, that people are going to remember our names 2,000 years in the future, and they're going to sing songs about us, but it doesn't mean that we're going to not leave an impact behind. And so if you want to close your eyes for just a moment and take some deep breaths and consider what legacy of love means to you, what that looks like to you. Consider the people in your life who have left a legacy of love for you? Who's been there for you? Who has made sacrifices for you? They are leaving a legacy of love in those moments. And take some deep breaths and think about what your legacy of love will be. Are you in alignment with the legacy of love that you want to leave on this planet after you're ascended, gone up to a higher place? What is the legacy that you are wanting to leave behind? And are you currently in alignment with that? Or are there things that need to change for you? You can ask silently with your heart, you can pray that you're given or that you are able to embody more of the strength and the wisdom and the courage that is necessary to fulfill your legacy of love. All things are possible. You can spend a few more moments in that meditation. You can continue to ponder that, contemplate that throughout the rest of your day, throughout your week, maybe journaling about it. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, coming back to this room with all these beautiful people who are here to co-create with you, to leave a legacy of love with you. And so be really curious about the ways that you can co-create with each other, to leave a legacy of love, to make this world a better place. That's what we are called to do. So, thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions or anything that we I've done questions before, I don't always do them, but.
I'd like to hear about the Holy Fire Reiki later.
Oh, okay, yeah, Holy Fire Reiki is really awesome, yeah. We can definitely talk about that. We have a question here.
Oh, I don't have a question.
Ooh. Sorry, throwing a curveball.
I don't have a question, but I would have something I would like to add.
Okay.
I think the best way to do it is to be the love and let it flow out to everybody and everything. You are the love. You are the feminine energy. And for others who have to feel like they need to look elsewhere, keep going and keep going, all the answers are in here. They're not up there.
Amen.
So it's interesting that you are having this conversation today, because literally I had the exact same conversation with my 17-year-old daughter, who is brilliantly wise at 17 years old. And we're chit-chatting about similar topics. And she looks at me, excuse me as I get a little emotional here, and says, Mom, you're not a project. And I was like, I'm a project manager during the day. Right. So like, I love projects, including myself. And it really hit home. And she's like, I am unconditional love, and I know I'm not a project. She's like, because I unfold every day and I just be. And it literally like almost put me on my knees last night. And I was like, you're right, we're not projects. We are perfect, exactly as we are each and every day. We are love, and we're supposed to give that love back out. And, you know, like oftentimes we're kids, right? We're making our laundry list of expectations and things that need to happen and what have you. It takes us away from the purpose of just being and unfolding and being in that unconditional love and being able to offer it to other people. So I resonate deeply with your story, and even the legacy. I literally wrote down, I desire to be a legacy of love, like, the other day. So it's just kind of like, I love the synchronicities, right? to the point of the music as well.
Yeah.
So I share that because I resonate very much with your story, and thank you for coming up and speaking to that, and also to the divine feminine aspect, because there have been so many beautiful, lovely goddesses and so on, and we were partners with the creation. And I do think that has been a little bit lost, and the masculine energy is absolutely beautiful too, but everything in life has to be a balance or it's tipped.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. And I will say, I've got a Divine Feminine thing, workshop coming up, sort of. It's co-creation with Deja. So she's technically leading it, but I'm gonna come and speak and share a little bit about the book Global Awakening, where I did my my Divine Feminine training for 3+ years. So I really got to go deep and study a lot of these Divine Feminine lineages that have been lost. So we're going to start that in April if you're curious. And I'm finishing up a Safiyah circle right now where we're going really deep into that. So these are big topics of conversation. Can't really fit it all into a little Sunday morning speech, but know that there's plenty of resources available if you're curious. That's up to you.
Just something that showed up for me as you were talking, also deeply resonated with me, is it doesn't have to be either or. It can be yes and. And yes and has been a very powerful concept for me. And I've shared privately, and I guess I'm saying publicly now, this is the first time in my life I've ever been unattached in a romantic relationship since I became a woman. So I too am getting to know Jesus, like actual spiritual present Jesus around and within me, and realizing that there is a lot of freedom and comfort and strength that comes from tuning into that frequency and living a life that is in alignment with his true teachings. Like, and when I say true teachings, it's like there's wisdom in those scriptures. There's a reason that they have survived so long, and people have tried to put them in the words for modern language. And I just really want to echo that it is a living word, and that it's spoken to me in a present moment, present day kind of thing. And it took letting down some of those walls of what I either was taught or preconceived notions of shame and guilt, and just being open to receiving the love and acceptance and forgiveness through that. And then the words had very different meaning.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, for any one woman or man who is healing their relationship with the divine masculine, Jesus is amazing for helping us do that. He is so comforting, so healing. So many times I've been crying and needing help, and he is there to comfort me. He shows up in my dreams and he comforts me. So he is the most reliable masculine I've ever known. He's always there. What's up?
Always execute things that benefit you, that is within, if you follow instructions, because that is how the Creator, like He has given love to Jesus, the Creator had intended to do the same thing to give love to us.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. One more. Okay. All right.
Speaking of masculine.
Masculine.
The story of Jesus is also a story of great suffering. And it seems that love and suffering are the same thing, but you kind of glossed over that. how do you rectify that you cannot have love without suffering? And any woman who's given birth understands that. Okay. And any guy that has told his kid, get up, I don't care if you're bleeding, understands that too. So I think sometimes we like to fly around up here, but love is deep and it's a lot of suffering.
Yeah, well, that's so true, and that's been, one of the most difficult things I think for me to reconcile with is like, okay, how could this possibly be the story of Jesus where there is so much suffering, and to really like accept that as truth, like he came and he lived this perfect life and then he was crucified, and that's such, that's the most extreme suffering, and it puts any suffering that I have been through, like, cannot compare to that. And the story of like how he sacrificed in order to show us, God's love. I mean, that makes me weep. Like truly, like that's so beautiful to consider. Like we are that loved, but it's also such a thing that so many people have to grapple with. Like, why would that be? Why would God, God wasn't really punishing Jesus, but people were. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like love does involve sacrifice, and I think that is something that our culture, unfortunately, is not always paying that much attention to. And I'm a mother, so I understand that very deeply, the sacrifice of being a mother and what we give to our children. But there are a lot of ways that our culture is not really willing to make those sacrifices for one another. And I think that's one of the things that knowing Jesus can help us do, to soften our hearts, to really extend that grace and that mercy to one another. So I think that's a really beautiful point, and definitely something that I don't want to gloss around or fly around. And so I really appreciate bringing that up.
I feel like, here we go again, last one, just to get
I feel like we have to go to the depths to be able to rise above. And by doing so, that allows us to understand what other people are going through. And it's kind of like what's happening in the world today. If the bridge is broken, if the bridge collapses, you don't fix it, you rebuild it, which is what we're doing right now in society with everything, the whole world, with what's going on. So, and I think you take that down to the level of the personal level, you have to hit the bottom and go through before you understand what that unconditional love is.
something that showed up as she was talking is, the deeper the suffering, the greater the capacity for love. And I do see that as that going hand in hand.
Yeah.
And great things to talk about.
Yes,
After.
so much beautiful stuff. Everybody has so many beautiful things to share. I'm so grateful. Thank you for having me.
Yep, give a round of applause. If you would like to share your resources with Unity Center of Des Moines, now is your opportunity to do so. Zeke has got a little basket that he'll be passing around. We also are able to accept donations via Venmo. There's a QR code either on the basket or in the back. And also Zelle. If your bank supports Zelle, you can set it up one time and then either do a recurring, or whenever you wish, you can do a direct deposit kind of thing. There's a QR code for that in the atrium. And we just, however much you are able to contribute to ensure that we are able to keep the lights on in the building, to protect this space, and also to encourage one another in rising in love. We appreciate it, and we want to offer this affirmation. Let's say it all together. I am infinitely abundant, divine love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I thankfully acknowledge the divine source. And Safiyah is not just a speaker, she is also a singer. And she's going to perform with Deb Jennings a special song for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna sing Loyal by Lauren Daigle. Love this song, love Lauren Daigle. I could never earn your heart, I could never reach that far, but you have pulled me close, you'll never let me go, I'm safe forever in your arms. Your promises I cannot break, and I know you will never change. Your love is, your love is, your love is Lord. Your love is, your love is, your love is Lord. More grateful than the rising sun, this grace for me I can't run. Your love is, your love is, your love is Lord. You're always there for me. You listen every time I speak. You look into my eyes, see the things I hide, and say that you will never leave. Your promises I cannot break, and I know you will never change. Your love is, your love is, your love is Lord. Your love is, your love is, your love is Lord. I'm grateful that the rising sun is grace for me. I can never run. Your love is, your love is, your love is Lord. I won't change, your love remains unshaken. So constant, so perfect, unwavering. I won't lose, your love remains unfailing. So constant, so perfect, unwavering. So constant, so perfect, unwavering. Your love is, your love is, your love is Lord. Your love is, your love is, your love is Lord. Your love is, your love is, your love is Lord. Oh, grateful and the rising sun, this grace for me, I can't run. Your love is, your love is, your love is Lord. Oh,
That was a tearjerker for me. I don't know about anyone else, but wow, thank you for sharing that, and thank you, Jesus, for showing up today and being here for us. Wow. I would like to dedicate this offering to do the work of spirit and truth to the people of Unity Center of Des Moines, and we are grateful. Oh, we are grateful. All right, now Doug will lead us through the universal greeting of peace. And as a little special thing today, I would like to invite everyone to stand up and find someone either next to them or behind them. I think we have the right amount of people that we can pair up.
Make it easy.
Follow Deb's gestures to actually look at someone else.
Oh.
To actually feel it with another person and connect that way.
All right.
I love you, peace.
I will peace.
offer you love.
I offer you love.
I offer you friendship.
I offer you friendship.
I see your beauty.
I see your beauty.
I hear your needs.
I hear your needs.
I feel your feelings.
I feel your feelings.
My wisdom flows from the higher source.
My wisdom flows from the higher source.
And I salute that source in you.
And I salute that source in you.
Let us work together for unity and love.
Let us work together for unity and love.
Alright, thank you everyone. Now we're gonna a great big circle around the room. We usually hold hands, but if you don't want to hold hands, you can just put your hands over your heart. And we're gonna sing the closing song.
The light of the divine surrounds us, the love of the divine enfolds us, the power of the divine protects us, the presence of the divine watches over us. Wherever we are, the divine is, and all is well.
Two rows and 6 chairs each in the back, and the rest along the wall, a little bit for the registers, no staffing, there should be room for all the chairs. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Oh, yes, and we're gonna have 8 out here for the after. I know, but I wonder, like, what you did. Oh, let's get that. Thank you, Jeff.
No, we don't usually practice. No, I know. I tried to get him to do this. I know. Yeah, I know. No, you gotta leave it the way I had it there. So when it's blinking, it's on mute. When there's no light, it's off. So hold it down, but I'll give it to you with the already turned on. So it'll be ready for you. It's gonna pull it over to your mouth. Yeah, you can say mic check. Yes. Good, how are you? I have not. It says okay. Yeah. There.
It's a small boy singing a song. It's just one small boy singing a song. One by one, they'll grow and together sing along. And then all the world will be